All right, will you guys just say your names?
Anthony Jeselnik.
Gregg Rosenthal.
Nice.
Nice.
You killed it.
Welcome to the broadcast with your hosts, Ricky Hollywood and Emma VP. Starring those same two broads. Featuring
Anthony
Gregg
Jeselnik.
Rosenthal.
Why am I still talking? Start the show.
Welcome back to the Broadcast Podcast. I'm your host with charisma for miles, the sweetest of sweet talkers, your resident celebrity and game show enthusiast, Ricky Hollywood. And I'm joined, as always, by my little buddy, the body of the broadcast, everyone's favorite, tightly wound Type A scribe, Emma VP. What's the haps, little girl?
Not much, partner. Glad to be spinning with you after a summer hiatus here, but I'm pretty pumped about the guests we have on today's program.
Yeah, for sure. We're still your virtual broads, and you know what, Emmers? I'm just going to cut the shit and get right to it.
Please.
We have two guests today on today's program, and it's not somebody's mom. It's not another YouTube hack. No,
Thank
we've
God.
got two big dogs tonight, one bigger than the other. It's the JRVP Broadcast Podcast crossover literally no one has been waiting for. Oh, yeah, it's Anthony Jeselnik and Gregg Rosenthal from the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
Yeah.
Junior Vice President. What's up, guys?
Hey, I mean, I felt like Greg and I both already did this for you. But I guess round two? Like, you were like, hey, how about Friday? How does Friday work? And I was like, what? How does what work? And I guess we agreed to this before COVID?
Well, yeah, Erica did ask us once if we wanted to do it, during COVID, and then we both said yes, and then she never followed up. And then 2 months later, she said, hey, is Friday afternoon okay? And so I don't blame you, Anthony, for, letting that go out of your mind. You got a lot going on.
Well, I miss you guys. Like, we've been, not on the airwaves for JRVP for quite some time. We've been in quarantine. Frankly, this is just an excuse to see your face.
You see mine all the time.
That excuse works for you guys, but for us, this is a fucking horror show.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a late night, just put the kids to bed. It is nice to see Emma. I have not seen you in a long time. How are you, Emma?
Greg.
We even talked for, a few minutes before the show, but I did not say hello to you. So now I say
I was
hello.
thinking it. I'm good. How are you doing?
Seeing Emma makes me sad, because last time I saw Emma, we were working together in an office before the world started burning.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've seen her since then.
That final lunch.
What'd you guys have? Do you remember?
Not a clue.
Tender greens, I bet.
Probably.
All right, broads, before we catch up with our mentors, Greg and Anthony, let's give a proper shout out to the biggest of the big dogs, the real hero, today's sponsor of the Broadcast Podcast. No offense, Greg, but Anthony, we'd love for you to read our ad copy. Would you do the honors?
I would love to cold read this ad you guys wrote for me.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Anthony. Shout out to our sponsors, pays the bills, keeps us going. Got to get that cash.
Let me know whenever you want me to start, Emma.
Yep, go ahead.
Today's episode of the Broadcast Podcast is brought to you by Fame. Fame. Are you fed up with no one on the planet finding you to be funny, attractive, talented, or otherwise enviable in any way, shape, or form? Are you just f***ing tired of making quirky YouTube videos, writing half a screenplay, and dancing with your grandpapa on TikTok just to get zero recognition for your genius? You should be. In fact, you should be sick about it. Fortunately, with the advent of Fame, you can finally get your name in lights and lead a life where you can't go to a restaurant without the staff nervously staring at you for 90 minutes straight. Any real artist's dream come true. Fame is what's earned when an artist, business person, or prolific murderer achieves public renown for their transcendent dark humor, bad boy persona, and expensive trademark haircut. And hey, good news, you guys. Even if you're an absolute embarrassment to your family and colleagues, you can still garner fame for being a complete disgrace. Broadcast Podcast listeners can experiment with Fame today by creating something of value, or by simply acting like a total f***ing moron on an NBC game show reboot. Fame. Nobody likes a nobody.
All right.
That felt a little personal to me and you, Anthony, and Greg. NFL Network Fame, that really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, these sponsors, Erica, they really know their shit. Okay, they send us the copy, we read it, and you know what? Pays the bills.
So, who are your favorite game show, guests that have won big, Erica?
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure anyone's really skyrocketed to fame off winning, Password.
Yeah. I don't know. I did hear that The Weakest Link is coming back on NBC, so I'm excited for that.
I like that show.
Shout out to Greg with a Password reference.
Yeah, like
It was canceled in 1963.
I watched a lot of it when I was a production assistant on Most Outrageous Game Show Moments 6 and 7.
Stop bringing that up. We get it.
All right, you guys, let's get into our stars. I'm going to start off with a really tough question just to like really rock it, you guys. How the hell are you? Do you miss me? How about Emma? Do you remember her?
Good. No. Yes.
Okay, cool. Anthony, you're a new dog owner. How is he?
He's great. Dog is great. He had a little vet hiccup. We've had to put a cone on him this week, which has been tough for a puppy. But I love him more and more every day. He's a fantastic dog. He's gotten me through quarantine. I got him about 3 months ago, and the quarantine changed completely once I pulled a dog into my life.
Do you go to the dog park?
Yeah, I had to wait a little bit to make sure he was cool with it, but now we go to a couple different ones. There's like an amazing one like half an hour away. But he loves dogs. Like if I'm walking him in the street, he's cool. But if he sees a dog, he'll just lay down.
Yeah.
And wait to play with the dog. So I try to take him to a dog park whenever I can, just tire him out.
Do you find it insufferable to have to speak to other dog owners at the dog park?
I want to have a T-shirt made that says "Do not talk to me while I walk my dog." Mm-hmm. I think it'll be really funny. The mask helps, but people just love to come up and talk to you. And as the dog has gotten older over the 3 months, like when it was a puppy, everybody wanted to talk, but now it's gotten a little better.
Greg, what do you think about the dog?
I wish I could spend more time with it. I've been over there a few times, but the kids are usually in tow because we go check out Anthony's pool, and they hate dogs. They're afraid of dogs. So it's been a pretty short interaction, but he's a beautiful little boy.
I mean, Greg actually said the words to me, and he doesn't remember this, but he said it to me last time he was here. He actually said the words, "It's just a dog." And I was like, oh, I see. Like, Greg has never owned a dog in his life. Like, I'm not mad at Greg, but I know that Greg and my dog are only going to get so close.
Right.
I don't
That's
see
fair.
Greg
Well,
and
he
my
did the
dog
thing
having
that dog owners do about comparing it to taking care of a kid. And to flip it on you, it's like, well, what are you talking about? It's still just a dog.
A very minor, yes, but you're always afraid. You know what I mean? You're always like, what's that sound? I haven't heard him. What is going on? Like, I compare it to raising a child. Not the same stakes, obviously, but the same like, oh, this must be what it's kind of like. This is as close as I'll get to what you have to go through.
But the people that say that and then have kids are always like, oh, I was an idiot back then. Back when I thought dogs were like having kids.
Do you think
I see the similarities.
Do you think
it's
like
a puppy
a
thing?
Testament to Greg's parenting that his kids are petrified of dogs?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think Greg's comfortable with dogs. I know Emika's not. I think the Japanese people as a whole aren't really comfortable with dogs. They're afraid.
Yeah. Greg, any counter?
I mean, I'll save it for JRVP if it ever comes back.
Wow, that's great.
Anthony, you are probably known best for your jokes about dropping babies, but you are no stranger to jokes about starving animals. Do you think adopting a dog will have any effect on your joke writing?
I definitely have a lot of stuff about dogs already to go when I get back on stage in 10 years. But having a dog has softened me. More people talk to me now that I have the dog, or they're like, oh, you're like a real person. You're a real human being. They like that. So it's made me softer and more open, I think, to people in a way that I do not like.
Greg, the NFL season is kicking off tonight. Any last minute hot takes for us?
No.
Okay, that's
no.
Perfect.
Got none.
I mean, has it been enjoyable? I'm cutting you off because no one really gives a
How many weeks of the season do you think will happen before it's canceled?
Ooh.
I think it gets through.
You do?
Sure.
I would say the over-under would be week 4.
They're like, we've got every public school going. I mean, the NFL's got like billions of dollars of money to throw at this problem. They don't care how many people get it, and no one has it.
By November, we will be converting stadiums into morgues. The MetLife morgue, City morgue. It's all going to be morgues.
So you two have been best friends for close to what, like 50 years now? How do you maintain a friendship like that for so long? I mean, I'd say Emma and I have another 2 years maybe before I call it a day.
Okay.
I think the secret is one of you having a family and the other one having a wildly successful career, and then you just talk once a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
What about when you're doing JRVP?
Then it's more of a professional relationship. Friendship goes out the window, and it's all about that money.
Yeah,
Right.
That's how it is for us.
Yeah, like if we weren't getting paid for this, like Greg and I enjoy doing the podcast. Eric, I know you enjoy it, but we're doing it for the money. We could just hang out.
Anthony, what is more surprising, the fact that we're still doing this dumbass podcast, or that you agreed to join the show for the third time?
I mean, I'll be totally honest. This is like a multi-pronged session we're doing here. We've got actual work to do for the other podcast after this. So, I mean, it's a surprise that you guys are still doing it. You know what I mean? It's
Are
like
you still
seeing
doing
someone.
it?
It's like
How
seeing,
often?
Don't interrupt me. It's like
When was the last one you did?
It's like seeing an old lady like throw a coin into a fountain every day, like wishing for something, and you're like, does she know this wish is never going to come true? Right. That's what I feel like watching you guys do your podcast.
Yeah, to answer your question, Greg, Emma was producing the show called Hard Knocks with HBO. So we've taken kind of like 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off, maybe. But
it's been about a month and a half.
I mean, how long could that take? That's like 30 minutes a week.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I also just adopted a dog, and then she
did?
takes
Oh, I
all
saw
my time, just
She
like
is
a
like-
kid.
Yeah. Anthony, you did a ton of press when your latest special, Fire in the Maternity Ward, came out. But as I'm sure you remember fondly, your first interview after it debuted was on this program. Do you regret that?
I mean, no more than I regret this. You know what I mean? It was fine. I mean, a lot of people told me they watched the special based on your podcast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, we have that effect on people.
I think more people are watching this screen right now as we do this than will be listening.
The
to
four
podcast.
of us.
Who has had the highest rated podcast for you guys, guest wise?
One of our
Probably a-
YouTubers.
Yeah, dumbass YouTuber.
Yeah, multiple dumbass
Yikes.
YouTubers have been on the program.
Not your
Yeah.
mom's.
But yeah, you keep coming back to 40-year-old.
Yep.
Greg will retweet me like once every like 7 months, and so maybe this one will be it, and it'll really give a numbers bump for sure.
I would more, but I muted you, so I never like know when the new podcasts come out.
That would make a lot of sense. He's probably not joking. You're not joking at all, are you? You really did mute me?
No, I'm not.
I've considered
Yeah.
that.
What do I
muted you.
tweet that makes you want to mute me? What the f***?
I
Really
mute almost
talking to-
everyone. I mute
Yeah,
almost
I've muted
everyone.
almost. I follow 180 people. I've muted almost all of them. You tweet young person stuff. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't like to follow like kids. I feel like I'm like, it's weird.
You've been calling me a kid for like 3 years now.
How old are you?
When do I have to hit 30 for you to not? Because that's
32.
close.
32.
Yeah,
Yeah, 30's still a kid. And then I'll be older, so I'll be like 50 then, and I won't even
Like you could be a
wouldn't
more
care.
mature age of whatever you are. Like Emma. She's
Yeah.
younger than you. She's more mature.
Yes.
So it's
Emma's
not all
a
about the
baby
age.
though. Emma, we used to make
Emma's
fun of her because it
15.
looked like she like woke up inside a flower and like and was like birds carried her into work. Like everyone just felt old as shit around Emma.
I
Good.
believe
We
it.
didn't appreciate it.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a compliment. So, Greg, you work with Erica on a daily basis. What would you say is her greatest weakness? And Anthony, feel free to jump in on this one.
See, this is why I already regret saying that I muted her. Just because,
I-
like, now, because it'll be brought back up. Because she just brings things back up that should be kept, that you thought were kept privately between you two. But then you learn just don't share anything with it.
You literally
Yeah.
just said
Yep.
on this podcast to the four of us that you muted me on Twitter, and you're acting like you told me that in private now that I'm bringing it up.
No, in that case, that's fair game.
I think Erica tries too hard.
I think you fucking try too hard.
I try the perfect amount.
I do too. I try just the amount that's needed.
Just the amount.
You
Bare
could have
minimum.
just taken the criticism, but you tried too hard.
Right, yeah.
How?
I like that Anthony was so eager he wanted to answer this question too.
I don't try.
I mean, there's only one answer. I
Did I
let
try
Greg
too
kind of
hard?
like dance around it because he's being nice. He's got to see you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
How
I
could
don't.
How could I try less?
I don't know if you could.
You could work harder,
like
but
appearance wise, or like I mean, in terms of your job.
not be as transparent and like what you really want out of each situation.
Erica, if I was going to describe you in one word, what would that word be?
Thirsty.
Yes,
What? That's so stupid. No offense.
I know. That's
just
why.
think it's-
That's why I
just-
tell you shouldn't do it.
But I'm not thirsty. Like I care very.
When you're not a kid, you'll understand what we mean.
You're too young.
I don't trust cat people, Greg. So
I had a dog and a cat. I love animals. I really do. I've been painted with the wrong brush here. It really does bother me that Walker is afraid of dogs. Ellis is fine, but I would like to have a pup and a cat. We had it all at the Rosenthals growing up.
My dog's a scary dog for the kids to meet if they're scared of
He's
dogs.
big,
My dog
right?
looks
He's
like
big.
he's gonna. Yeah, he's a big dog.
Either
My
way,
husband.
we've got 4 people in a fairly small place here. Adding like dogs running around. I need to make that JRVP money to upgrade.
True.
You know.
same.
Speaking of, do you guys ever wish that Gregg chose me to be the JRVP producer over Erica?
Right now, 100%.
Okay. Yep. Figured.
Sometimes, sure.
Listen, Emma, I love you. Emma and I have a different relationship because she worked for me in television, which is just as important, if not more so, than podcasting. And Erica and I have known each other longer and interacted more. I gotta say, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say we need Erica. We need Erica for the podcast. But if my 1B, you know what I mean? If Erica couldn't be there, I'd be like, can Emma please? And if that's not going to happen, then Coach T. And if Coach T can't make it, then I don't know what to do.
I haven't totally closed the door on it. You never know. You never know what could happen in season 17.
I would never replace Erica because Gregg and I do not listen to what the fans say.
Yeah, they don't like me. So, Anthony, Emma was your writer's assistant on your TV show, as you just said, Good Talk, for 2 seasons. Her dream job, which she stated many times. Do you think she's got what it takes to be a real writer, or is it about time she just closes up shop?
I mean, if I was going to give her one piece of advice, I would say, like take a year and hate yourself. Like, learn to hate yourself. You know what I mean? You need to just, like, get whiskey face. We just drink so much whiskey that it ages you 10 years, and then, like, whatever you write will be accepted.
Okay.
You know?
That's good advice. Yeah, I thought I had already been doing that. The self-hate for that much time, but I'll get to it.
I don't know. You still look like a child. You know what I mean? I think that works against you. I think if you were a 50-year-old man, you would work more. I think people see you and they're like, oh, she can't have experience. She looks like she was just born. True. But you're well on your way. Everyone at Good Talk loved you, and we missed you. We talk about you.
What was she like in the writer's room? Like eerily quiet or uncomfortably quiet?
like focused quiet, where she was like doing her job, which is writing down everything we say, and then also doing her own work on the side. And a lot of it ended up, or would have ended up in the show if it hadn't gotten canceled and we get to come back. You know, you'll see a lot of Emma's material in there because she was not just a writer's assistant, but also one of the writers, which is doing 2 jobs. And she was great at it. I've never had a better writer's assistant.
Thank you, Anthony. That is high praise. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Was it unprofessional for her to ask roughly 95% of your staff to be a guest on this podcast?
No more unprofessional than you doing it.
Who is your favorite guest on Good Talk? Gregg, same question.
I honestly had like put it out of my mind and have not been able to remember, but we had amazing stuff for every single guest. We had some really funny stuff. And I don't want to spoil anything because we might get to do it down the line somewhere. We're still trying to sell the show, but there were so many great things. Like, that's what really bums me out, is not just people losing their jobs, but the material we had ready to go. We had 7 of the 8 scripts ready, and we're very excited about them. So it's a bummer, but I've talked to all the guests, and they say if we get a home somewhere else, they'll be in. But nice. I was very happy with the stuff we had.
I think I might go Tig.
I knew you were going to say that.
Is the most memorable. I just remember David Spade. David Spade was the most memorably annoying. But it made the show good. So, I guess that's what David Spade does, if that makes sense. Anthony's annoyed by this commentary.
I thought we were talking about season 2, not season 1. But
I never saw season 2. Oh,
me neither.
Well, how do I know who's the guest?
She was joking when she said that you could answer too. Like, how would you know?
Right.
Wasn't
So real quick on that TV show note, we like to play a game on this show all the time, every single episode,
every week,
called Bang Smash. Which I think is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm happy to break it down for you guys if needed. Anthony, bang, smash, having your own TV show, having multiple Netflix comedy specials, or doing the JRV podcast with Gregg and me.
Straight up bang, smash across the board.
Yep.
Straight in the line?
Yeah.
Nice. Gregg, we won't leave you out. Smash, bang, men's tennis, women's tennis, mixed doubles tennis.
Women's tennis, smash men's tennis, and whatever the rest is for mixed doubles.
Bang. You bang it.
You bang it.
Nice.
Good answer.
And when you say women's tennis, you don't mean it. You mean I would I love
right, that's my number one. That's the number one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see that Svetlana Perankova match today? Oof.
Oh my god.
Don't even get me started.
Doozy.
If JRVP were to ever come back sometime down the road, what are the chances of renaming the show the Jeselnik, Rosenthal, and Tamposi Vanity Project? Big if here.
I would say that there would be a better chance that we would have a new producer.
Do you guys
know
have
what I mean?
any like teases about that or anything? You know, the fans want to know.
I'll say this. People think that there have been like rumors that we've been like pranking people and like holding it off for some reason. Like since the season 2 ended, we've been working to get season 3, and it just takes a long time with COVID, with lawyers, with all of these things. I will say that things are wrapping up, and we will have an announcement imminently. Imminently. Like, I would say, I'm gonna say a week from when we're taping this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you will not leave the month of September without new JRVP.
Ooh.
All right.
I mean, that is the announcement. You just made that was the announcement, basically.
Not really. I mean, they're still getting in order. They're still like they're working on the announcement, but I'm confident that we will have an announcement very soon.
Cool.
That is quite an announcement.
I just was going to say, like, I need that sort of to come through sooner than later because I'm trying to buy a house and, like, I need some extra cash for that down payment. And, like, it's been a few months now, so I was, like, kind of hoping we could get this ball rolling.
Why in the hell are you trying to buy a house?
Because I have a dog. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to buy a house because I pay, like, $30,000 a year in rent to nothing. It's like lighting it on fire.
I know this. The JRVP money does not seem like it would make a big difference in buying a house.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. But it adds up.
What does Erica exactly bring to the table on JRVP? Just if you really had to put your finger on it.
Microphones?
Yeah.
Come on, Greg. Give me one compliment tonight.
I mean, if he comes with like the home run joke right off the top, I know you just lay out. You enjoy
I will say
it.
that Erica softens us a bit. I like having someone of Erica's type. And by type, I mean just like a young person to react to Gregg and I, old man, talking about things that if we had someone who was more like us and not the opposite of us, then it would get boring. That I like having, like, I disagree with you most of the time, Erica.
Right.
And I call you out on stuff constantly, but I like that. I like that vibe. People think we're being mean to you. It's like, no, we're just reacting to her. And this is how we do it.
It's like when I listen to podcasts, I almost always think, I wish the producers would talk more. And so that's what JRVP is all about.
It's like when you watch He-Man, the cartoon show, you're not like, oh, I wish this show was about Orko. But you don't hate Orko. You kind of need Orko for some comic relief.
That's good, Greg. You really nailed that one.
Anthony, you were recently on Whitney Cummings' podcast, one of your peers in Comedy Equals. How does this experience compare to that?
I mean, she's a friend, so completely different.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. I went to her place, and that was more like catching up. It was like we've been friends for a long time, but we don't really talk that much, or like get into depth. So it was like the longest conversation I've had with her since I met her, and that was fun. People like that podcast. I've been asked out on dates from that podcast more than anything else I've ever done. Yes.
You said
so she wanted to talk about was relationships and why I'm single, and people from like friends from like around comedy have been like, my friend got in touch with me and really wants to date you. Here's the stats. And I'm like, nope, I'm married to my dog.
Nice.
It was a good podcast. You guys talked about comedy for a while, though.
Greg, did you listen?
I have not listened, though.
You should check it out.
Yeah.
Just listen to your friends' work.
I mean, I watch all Gregg's podcasts. I listen to all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I
Watching
mean?
me on NFL Network. It's like Erica wanting the retweet. What are you retweeting my like boring columns about the NFL? No,
I have,
you don't
actually.
care.
You wouldn't know because you muted me, but I do, actually.
No, I see that. You do see like who,
I've had friends ask me to retweet them, and I'm like, it's not going to go well. Like, they'll be like, retweet this thing, me asking for tickets to my show in Seattle. I'm like, my fans are going to hate you and just make fun of you on Twitter all day long. And they're like, yeah, you're right.
I do listen or watch Anthony's stuff, but that was Whitney Cummings' stuff.
Yeah. But Anthony was a star.
He was this
I usually do check out ones like that. I enjoyed him on the Pete Holmes podcast back in the day.
I actually saw a clip of you doing his TV show, Pete Holmes.
They just keep showing the thing where I call him the CEO of a pumpkin patch.
Yeah. That's
like
exactly
that.
what it was. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
I went on his show and I just made fun of. I think my show, the Jeselnik Offensive, had just gotten canceled, and they asked me to go on that to promote it, and I was just like furious. And I got on his show and I made fun of his studio audience the entire time, and they were furious. And then they cut it all out. Cut all of it out.
Oh, really? Because I remember, because you still had fun. I do remember watching that when it came out. I think you told me about it too at the time. And still, I think you got in some jabs about that his show was not going to last long, which in retrospect was right.
Yeah, it did not.
Gregg, for your last birthday, Anthony gifted you some broadcast coaching lessons that it kind of turned into a whole debacle. I want to know if you were insulted at all in the first place that he gifted them to you. I mean, I know how Erica felt when her parents got her like a gym membership for her birthday.
No, I wasn't, because I knew it came from a good place. I was only annoyed at myself after the fact that I just could not hide my distaste for the man who was going to give the podcast. And in hindsight, I had many regrets about that.
Okay.
Have you forgiven him, Anthony?
Oh, immediately. I mean, it was in the moment. It was awkward, but he's my best friend. You know, of course I forgave him, and I'm glad I got the money back. And if I hadn't gotten the money back, I wouldn't have not forgiven him. I would have just made him take the lessons and then call me afterwards to walk me through what he had learned.
That was the thing. We had moved forward after that night, and I was just like, I'm just going to take the lessons. I'm going to make the best of it. And I remember Emeka being like, this is crazy. And I was just like, it's fine. It's just taking the lessons. I probably will get some good things from it. But thankfully, that old hack gave you your money back.
No, Emma saved you.
Yeah.
Because I told Emma about it, and Emma goes, oh, that f***ing guy?
Yeah, that's
I've never
right.
heard Emma swear in my life. And
right.
I got on the phone right away, and I was like, Emma just swore, burn it all down.
There's only so many people I know at the NFL, and I know, yeah, that's a quack.
Yeah. It's a good story. It doesn't even bother me. I just think it's a really funny story.
Yeah.
Again, forgave Gregg immediately. Gregg we all understand the funniness of it. And, I will never just go out on a limb like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It also made Emeka happy. Like that night at dinner, she was so delighted in the awkwardness and the pain of the situation that you gave her that.
She likes to see someone as angry at you as she is all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm not even...
Oh, she's right.
Yeah.
Because you gaslight her into thinking that you're a good husband. And then when I'm like, no, this is what he's like across the board, she's like, oh, thank God. It's not me being nuts.
For sure. Here's a semi-legitimate comedy question for you, Anthony. A lot of notable comedians have started doing outdoor stand-up shows amidst the pandemic. How badly are you missing being on stage? Would you ever consider that?
I miss it a lot. I didn't miss it all that much at first, and then I was like, you know what? As soon as I can get on stage anywhere, I'm going to do it. I really dislike the idea of drive-in comedy, where they honk their horns. Get out of my face with that. But I do know people who are doing some outdoor, socially distanced small shows, and I have some new jokes that I want to try. So I will do a couple of those. But I love what I was doing. I love packed rooms, going nuts. That I might take a long time from stand-up if it comes back in some weird hybrid form. It's just not as fun. I've talked to friends who are like, no, I'm going back in whatever way I can. I'll do virtual if I have to. And I've talked to friends who are like, I might be done with stand-up if it never comes back to what it was. I love doing it the way that it was. I don't begrudge anyone for changing it up and finding new avenues, but I just loved stand-up. And if I do 4 specials or 4 hours of comedy and that's it for a while, then I'm happy with that. I'm at peace with my legacy. But this cramming it in, it just seems awful.
Or Instagram Live or any of those. That feels so awkward.
Or doing a stand-up special with no audience.
Right.
I'm not interested in that at all. But I am writing, and I am excited about some new stuff I have to work on.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one here whose comedy career has been affected. I, of course, was taking Improv 201 when the shutdown happened. How much of a setback do you think this is for me? Give me a little credit, too.
I think your mic cut out.
That is tough, Erica.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
So, Gregg, you gave Erica the opportunity to produce the JRVP podcast, which in turn led to me meeting Anthony and eventually working for him. Do you feel you deserve more credit for the launch of our subpar careers?
Ooh, Erica's getting a paycheck right now, pretty consistently. I guess that's not true for you. So
Nope, not at all.
Feel more bad about that, but I think we brought people together. We gave Emma the highest of recommendations for Good Talk.
You definitely did.
Gregg, I'm going to kind of pile on with a question with you. When did you know Anthony was going to be a star? And how about me?
I thought Anthony was going to do well almost immediately because I saw him working extremely hard at it. And I already thought and knew he was funny enough. And I'd never seen Anthony work so hard at something. And so I just assumed he would be successful. I do think you're going to buy that house, Erica.
Thanks, Greg.
I'll add on to this in that, like, I was embarrassed to tell Greg that I was trying stand-up comedy. Like, I would say I've got to go to work, and I would go to a stand-up comedy class, or I'd go to an open mic and come back. And then one day I just felt stupid, and I was like, guys, I don't know why I've been lying to you for 3 weeks. Like, I'm going to try to do comedy. And Greg just looked at me, and I thought he was going to, like, laugh or something. He just goes, you'll be great at that. Like, you make us laugh all the time. Like, you're the funniest guy I know. Like, and just, there was no judgment. Everyone was like, cool, like, awesome. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I've been lying to my friends for 3 weeks. So yeah, Greg was on board right away. But I would say Greg knew I was going to be a star after the Trump roast, because you were like the one person I talked to of my friends afterwards, and it was just like, you had just a big smile on your face. Like, that was awesome to see. You know, you get your big break in front of all these people live. And, you know, you were next to our friend Don, who was so drunk he couldn't even
I was going to say, you only had one other friend there, and he did not know where he was at the time. So.
Yeah, but you were so happy for me that, you know, and before, I think my TV debut doing Premium Blend, I stayed at your apartment.
I saw that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari was in the same block as yours, I remember.
Yeah.
And Erica, I am confident you are going to be a great success. I just don't know. I don't know if you found what it's going to be in. It's not stand-up comedy, though.
It's not. It's definitely not.
Improv comedy.
Yeah, it could be improv. It could be, you know, making money on OnlyFans. I'm really not sure what avenue.
Directing.
Yeah, I gave up the directing gig like 4 years ago.
Why?
I'm really
Cameo, maybe just Cameo. I think that could take
just like
off.
$10 shout outs for like people in Scotland.
I think you, Erica, you have a gift for dealing with difficult men. Not just from dealing with me and Greg on a weekly basis, but from what I've heard in your NFL Network stuff. Like, you just handle that. You handle that male energy very well. That I think sky's the limit for you.
Thanks, Anthony.
You're
I
welcome.
like when you guys are sweet.
That's so nice, Erica.
Right?
You're destined for the stars.
Thanks, buddy.
You're gonna be on screen.
You're gonna be the best writer's assistant in Hollywood.
Thank you. Keep climbing those assistant ranks.
You know, you're gonna be the first assistant.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much longer?
Yeah, we're wrapping
We're
up.
really getting to the end here.
If I were to tell you guys Emma and I were going to be featured in a magazine, what would be your first guess as to the name of that publication?
Girls Wearing Hats Weekly?
I'm not even in a hat, so wrong.
Couldn't be that.
Ranger
I've seen
Rick.
more hats.
Hey.
That's still around? I loved Ranger Rick.
Well, joke's on you guys. We are going to be interviewed for a magazine, but we're not saying the name of it yet, and that's a tease.
Or a plug.
The broadcast is getting a little feature write-up in an LA mag. That's
LA
not,
Weekly?
It's not.
Well.
The land.
No, not that one either.
Warmer.
Is it a free one?
Yeah.
Is it the kind of thing that if you cut out the article and tried to save it, that next time you looked at it, it would be so faded you couldn't read it? Yeah, okay. Congratulations, guys. Cheers to your publicist.
Thank you.
Emma, let's sign off here. You take the last one.
Okay. Anthony, I'm sure you definitely remember this, but I'll remind you just in case. When you were on this program 2 years ago, you said that Erica and I...
2 years ago?
Yep, December 2018. It's crazy.
It feels like it was yesterday and we've still been doing it.
Well, when you were on this program on that memorable time, you said that Erica and I were on Comedy Central's radar, on your manager's radar, and just to kind of keep doing what we're doing, we would find some success in this industry. Do we have anyone to blame but ourselves for that never materializing?
Erica does not. Erica was on the radar and then got shot down as an enemy bogey for making a mistake, which I've talked to her about. Emma, you are still, I think, very much in the mix. Everyone, you know, myself, Megan, the showrunner on Good Talk, loved you and would always be happy to put out a good word for you with anyone. I mean, I hooked you up with with a manager in my manager's company. And have you still been in touch with her?
Yeah, nothing's come of it.
Well,
Yeah,
Erica, that's on me, though.
No, listen, you get a bunch of chances and you just keep on plugging away, and one chance not working out just means the next chance might. I mean, I definitely failed 1,000,000 times before I got to where I was. So meeting with a manager and having it not work out is just, it's like a practice for the next time you meet the manager. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, it'll come around.
Yeah, but if you're like Erica and you call my manager to tell her that you messed something up and made me mad and you want to apologize by sending me flowers, that's bad.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't
That's
do
a
that.
phone call
Even
from my
that-
manager asking, what did Erica do?
Yeah, but that was, you were literally on the podcast so mad at me. And I was like being funny, and I emailed your manager. I was like, "Hey, haha, I'm gonna send Anthony flowers. Like, do you have his address?" And then she was like, "Yeah, her assistant gave it to me." She's like, "Oh my god, haha!" Like it was funny.
Doesn't sound like
Ask
it.
Gregg for my address.
Yeah,
And I wasn't so mad. I told you to make a correction, which you should not have had to make.
Wait, so you're saying she said like haha, and that maybe that interaction didn't like fully express what she was feeling about the situation? Is that
no,
something?
we email about like stuff here and there, so I thought it was fine. Like I really thought that we had that type of relationship because we'd emailed about previous other stuff that wasn't even related to you.
She wasn't angry. She just was like, is she a screw up?
Wow.
That's not true.
That's tough, Rick.
Yeah, when you mess up, you don't start calling the highest, the most higher up that you can to let them know. You know what I mean?
I thought me and your manager were tighter than that, and I thought it was funny to send you flowers. I thought it'd make you laugh.
It was. But it wasn't funny to have my manager be like, what happened with Erica? Do we need to replace her? What did she do?
Oh, yeah. Makes
Lesson
sense.
learned.
Yep.
Yeah. I told her the next day, I told her very nicely, I was just like, when you mess up, don't tell people about it. Like, handle it, like send flowers, whatever you got to do, but keep it quiet.
Yeah. Well,
And Gregg has my address.
yeah, but he's so unreliable. He'll text me back and be like, I don't know it.
What are you talking about? I have no
was a
recollection of what you were apologizing for.
Me neither, see? So it's nothing. Water under the bridge. You guys, that's a goddamn wrap. Subscribe, rate, review, join our subreddit, and talk shit about us and or Gregg and Anthony. Keep an eye out for JRVP. You never know when news could break next Tuesday. Do you think the broadcast deserves some more limelight? Let Anthony and Gregg know at Anthony Jeselnik and Gregg Rosenthal right on Twitter. Gregg and Anthony. Seriously, you guys, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast. We really appreciate the time, and thank you to the listeners for sticking with us. We've been doing the show for 2 years now, and no one's more surprised than we are.
Yeah.
Actually,
Thank you, guys.
I'd say I am.
Yeah.
See you another time.
Next time.